That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? You know, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about a report coming out that, and it was in the major trades, that Warner Brothers Discovery behind the scenes was looking at splitting the company in half, spinning off a bunch of its assets to be one company or selling them off and they would be another company. Well, today it's official. Warner Brothers Discovery is splitting the company in half. And it's going to make Warner Brothers look like, well, what we kind of think of Warner Brothers.
Right.
When we think about Warner Brothers, that's what this new thing's going to look like. Anyway, Vulture breaks it down like this. It says this. It'll break down like this. David Zaslav will lead as CEO of a new so-called streaming and studios company made up of Warner Brothers Television, Warner Brothers Motion Picture Group, DC Studios, HBO, and HBO Max, including its international sports offering. Warner Brothers Games, Warner Brothers Tours, Retail and Experiences Business, and production facilities in Burbank and Levinson. Okay, so that's going to be one company. The other company, the current CFO of WBD, Gunnar Weidenfels, I think, will lead a new quote-unquote global networks company that will include WBD's sports and news television brands like CNN, TNT, Sports, and the US and Discovery, European free-to-air channels across Europe, and digital operations like Bleacher Report and the Discovery Plus streamer. The split will be a tax-free transaction, and both streaming and studios and global networks, placeholder names, we have assumed, will live on as publicly traded entities. So they are literally creating a separate company altogether. So one is going to be Warner Brothers. It's going to be DC, Warner Brothers Pictures, Warner Brothers Television, the facilities. It's going to be HBO Max, what we think of. Then all the other stuff, Discovery, TNT, CNN, Sports, News, all that other kind of stuff is going to be a completely different company. Now, one of the other interesting things that I read was the new company is going to take most of Warner Brothers' debt with it. Because Warner Brothers, I think, is like $36 billion in debt or something along those lines. And apparently the new company is going to take most of that with it, which is a bad deal if you're the guy running the new company. You can start off with that debt, but that's where it's going. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. And they're going to both be traded as individual companies. You know, Rob, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. When Discovery first took over Warner Brothers, I liked the idea of HBO Max having all the Warner Brothers and HBO catalog and somebody who admittedly likes all those shows. You know the shows I'm talking about. The food shows, the home makeover shows. I like those shows. So I kind of like the idea of having them all in one service. But, you know, the whole thing about all these multiple different types of shows and all that kind of stuff all on one thing was not working out for them. They're splitting it off. And now it's kind of official. We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Stitch Fix. Guys, you know I love movies, but you also know I have absolutely no fashion sense, and I absolutely hate shopping for my clothes. But thankfully, I have found a better way. Stitch Fix online personal styling makes it easy. With Stitch Fix, I get a stylist who understands my style, size, and budget, and they do all the shopping for me. Because look, shopping and figuring out style can be overwhelming, especially for somebody like me. When it comes to getting dressed, I don't even know where to start, to be honest. That's why I love having a Stitch Fix stylist. They really know what works for me. I get pieces that make me look great, and it's a real confidence boost. You just give your stylist your size, style, and budget preferences. You get to order boxes when you want and how you want, no subscription required. They send you personalized pieces, and the fit is always on point. No stores, no crowds, no stress. Just personalized looks that you will love. So guys, make style easy. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Campea. That's stitchfix.com/Campea. What do you think about the move, and how do you think this will help them in the long run?
Well, it's interesting. If you look at the new company with, I guess, the broadcast company, a lot of those are dying. I mean, CNN, TNT, those are old school 20th century networks, whereas the new company is the one that's sort of moving forward and jumping into the future. So it makes sense to me that they're sort of memory holing their debt with it, because they're going to probably sell all that off anyway.
Yeah.
Or so that makes sense, because then they sell it off, they sell the whole company off, and maybe they can wipe out their debt. Who knows? So I think it's a shrewd move. I don't really understand all the machinations behind taxes and debt. And I mean, I understand what debt means, but I think it's a really smart move because look, Warner Brothers, if we look at what the studio is doing, at least now, they've got a Gollum movie coming. You know, they've got Superman, the DC universe is
They've just had a big string of hits.
And they've got Superman coming out in July. They got Weapons coming out in August.
Lanterns coming.
And by the way, they've started, I don't know if you saw this piece of viral marketing for Weapons. This piece, it was up on New Line's feed on X, where it had a drawing on a piece of notebook paper with all these kids that are like X'd out.
Oh, that's creepy as hell.
It's just a creepy. They're killing it, man. And Warner Brothers, now that the Abdi DeLuca or DeLuca Abdi, I don't know who gets first position contractually there, but that era has finally started to manifest itself. I want to see Warner Brothers succeed. So Zaslav wants to be the king of Hollywood. He knows what's up. As long as we get great stuff from Warner Brothers, I'm stoked, you know. And I think, look, I think people are more excited for Superman than they've been for any comic book movie in quite some time. And I'm hoping that'll lead to some great momentum. And they're ramping up the viral marketing on Weapons. So Warner Brothers has a couple of, I think the rest of their summer is going to be strong. So we'll see. I think the whole thing's good.
You know, it's going to be funny. And this is a big if, okay? Admittedly, this is a huge if scenario, okay? But I am one I'm very pro David Zaslav. I mean, I haven't liked everything he's done. The very fact that they took the HBO name out of Max in the first place was one of the dumbest decisions I've ever seen anybody do. That was so stupid. It was the right move to bring the HBO name back. But I've been a big fan of Zaslav. I don't think Warner Brothers would still be in existence today if it wasn't for him taking it over, because under AT&T, that thing was dying. That whole place was dying. But the general, I'm one of the rare people. The general thing amongst average fans has been like, David Zaslav's terrible. If, and again, this is a huge if, purely hypothetical situation, it's going to be one of the biggest narrative shifts you're going to see if David Zaslav is able to help usher in a golden age for DC content. If under Zaslav's overall emperorship of WB and James Gunn and Peter Safran, if Superman comes out and the critics love it and the audiences love it and it makes money, you're going to see such a dynamic, and then 3 years from now, if you actually have a thriving, successful DC franchise on screens, you're going to see a massive narrative shift, I think. I think all of a sudden people are going to be looking at Zaslav and all that kind of stuff very, very differently.
Well, and also if the Abdi DeLuca era in teaming up with talented filmmakers, I mean, Craig Perry, who is a guy that shepherded the Final Destination franchise for a long time. After 14 years, they've completely revitalized that franchise. They've got at least 2 more movies in that franchise if they're great. You've got Zach Kreger with Weapons coming out. They've got an alliance with him. I would imagine, you know, even though he's doing some other things for other studios, you're going to see a lot of filmmakers. They're going to make it a place where filmmakers know they can go and make movies. And they're going to, maybe one day I don't think they're going to get Christopher Nolan back, but they know what a shame it was to lose him. And I think that David Zaslav, that's what he wants. He wants to build a place where people can come be creative and people can come. It's going to be really interesting to see if that's a great strategy in the next 10 years, because with AI coming in, and everyone and their brother is going to make AI films. I would say that real talented filmmakers are going to be in high demand, because people are going to get really tired of AI generated features very, very quickly, no matter how good your prompt foo is.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this? Warner Brothers Discovery is officially going to be splitting off the company. I'll tell you what exactly they're probably going to be doing. This new company is going to be taking all the debt, and then the new company will file for bankruptcy in a year. And there goes all the debt.
Yeah,
it's not Warner Brothers debt anymore.
Right.
Anyway, guys, whatever you think about all this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.